All right, everybody. Steve Nguyen here, and we're gonna make Bun Bo Hue this weekend, or this past weekend. I wanted to make pho, but the girlfriend wanted Bun Bo Hue, so she gets her way, cause that's the only way. Anyways, prepping a bowl of Bun Bo Hue here.
This is the money shot here.
And this is the money shot right here. Hot, savory lemongrass broth. And I'm gonna show you how to make it in today's video, step by step. Here's the garnish we have to accompany our soup. That's her bowl, that's my bowl. All right, we're gonna start with our beef. We got a piece of beef shank here and beef bone marrow. Here's our pork. We got some pork neck and pork hock cut in thin slices. Both can be found at Asian markets. Next, we're gonna get everything into a pot so we can start our parboiling process. This method here is to clean out all the impurities. So we have fill it up with cold water, add a piece of ginger and a good amount of salt. Bring this up to a boil, low simmer for about 20 to 30 minutes. In our main pot, let's add some nice high quality filtered water, warm that up. Next, once everything cools down, rinse our meat with cold water, scraping off all the scum. And then we're gonna add our shank, our pork hock, into the main stock pot. In goes the beef bones, and last, our pork neck bones. Get everything in and bring this up to a boil. Okay, after 1 hour, we're gonna take out our pork hock and get this into an ice bath and set aside. Sift out any excess impurities in our main pot with a metal mesh sifter. All right, next let's prepare our fresh aromatics. We got 2 pieces of ginger, 2 sweet yellow onion, and a bunch of lemongrass. Tie up your lemongrass nicely with some twine so it's easy to put in and take out. Again, keep sifting out the impurities, then add your yellow onions, ginger, and the main superstar, our lemongrass here, and let this simmer. Next, let's prepare our seasoning. We got some dried shrimp paste here, about 3 grams. Hit it with some hot water and let that dissolve. Next, we got half a cup of high quality fish sauce. I got 3 Crab brand here, 3 tablespoons of salt, and I would say about 5 grams of rock candy. And this is gonna be our seasoning. Easy as that, 1, 2, 3, 4. Mix that shrimp paste up so it's easier to handle. Add your fish sauce into the pot. Salt goes in, rock candy goes in. Make sure you stir it up as you go so everything gets dissolved. And here, strain it through that metal mesh and dissolve it through so everything dissolves nicely into our main stock. Let that rip. After 3 hours total, we're gonna take out our beef shank and get it in an ice bath. Let that rest, dry out. Okay, let everything else boil for another 5 hours. Turn it off and I'll let it sit overnight. And this is the next morning here. And I'm gonna clear out the pot. We're gonna throw away our lemongrass bunch. Throw away our yellow onions. Get that out of there. And in a separate bowl, I like to transfer the pork bones and all the beef bones and marrow and set that aside. Throw away your ginger. We're taking everything out so we have a clean stock / broth. I like to also organize the pork bits and bones to one bowl and all the beef bones and marrow into another and set that aside. And this is our stock here. All right, next we're gonna start our lemongrass chili satay oil. So bring up some avocado oil, about a cup here, and we're gonna let it soak in some annatto seeds, and this is gonna give it a natural red color. So let that sit for about 10-15 minutes and bring it back into our saucepan. medium heat here. Then in goes our crushed red chili flakes, about half a cup. And then next, our minced lemongrass that you can find frozen at any Asian market. Get about half a cup in, and then we're gonna hit it with some garlic powder, about quarter cup, and a quarter cup of chili powder. Mix that up. Add about 4 tablespoons of fish sauce. Turn off the heat. Mix that up well after it's been bubbling for a bit. And this is our satay. Next, I like to transfer the main pot into a smaller pot since we don't need to work with all the bones and all that other stuff. Get your chili oil in there. And this is our final boss for our Bun Bo Hue pot. Next, let's prepare our protein. This is jalo, which is like a pork meatloaf that, again, you can find at any Asian market. Thinly slice this. Set it aside. This is all the setup. There's a lot of setup, but it's worth it, guys. This is our beef shank that's been sitting in the fridge. So I like to break it down, separate all the tendon pieces aside versus just the clean slices of beef. So here, this is more of a clean, no tendon. So thinly slice this and set aside on a tray for our setup. Boom, look at that. All the tendon and all the meat kind of separated. Next, we're gonna prepare our yellow onion. Thinly slice this, and again, set aside. This is gonna be our garnish. I like to transfer it into these containers because it's gonna last all weekend and you want it to not spoil. Green onions, thinly slice. Cut the whites, cut the greens. Get it into a big bowl. Here we got some cilantro. Thinly slice this. I like both the stems and the leaves can be combined. Very flavorful. Get that in a bowl together. All right, here we got some water. I'm gonna hit it with some salt and we're gonna squeeze half a lime juice in here. And this is our banana blossom. You can find this in the produce section at any Asian market. You don't have to have this, but it's ideal for Bun Bo Hue. So thinly slice it, and you want to soak it in that water so it doesn't turn black. Because if you just cut it and let it sit in the air, it will turn black and not look good to eat. So let this soak in your lime and salt water. Here we got a red cabbage. Thinly slice this up. You can use green cabbage. A lot of textures, a lot of crunch in Bun Bo Hue. So this will add another layer of crunch. Boiling water. All right, next let's boil our noodles. So you can go with large vermicelli noodles or small. This here is the thick rice vermicelli noodles. I like it. But in Vietnam, you can find the thick or the thin. Boil, rinse in cold water. All right, we're ready to plate up. This is our setup here. Mise en place, whatever you say it, however you say it. So let's get our plate of veggies ready. Some mint, cabbage, our banana blossom, some lime, and this is our setup with the meat, all the accoutrements of the green onions. All right, from our main pot, I like to transfer it to a smaller pot so we can boil it and get it as hot as possible before we serve. So transfer into a smaller pot. This is gonna be for 2 people. So then I'm gonna add my pork hock in there. As it comes to a boil, we're gonna add our rice noodles. And then we're gonna let it sit on top so the bowl gets hot as we prep. So in goes the beef shank. Thinly sliced. In goes our jalo, pork meatloaf. Thinly sliced. Green onions. Cilantro.
And onions.
Sliced yellow onion. Sweet onion. Boom. Prepping my next bowl. And here we go. Bring that to a boil. Bowl's hot, so careful. Take out that rack. Again, this part, if you don't have a rack, it's fine. I just like the Bun Bo Hue extra, extra, extra hot. So here, we're gonna make Kim's bowl. She wanted a piece of the neck bone, but no pork feet for her. Usually girls don't like that shit. So in goes the broth, and you can see that red glowing from the chili oil. And the smells right now are insane. You got the pork neck, you got the pork hock. And yeah, thanks for watching.